in terms of the games that you've witnessed, Sean, in Heart of the Swarm and played yourself, are you getting a lot of use out of Tempests here against Zergs? And are they working well as intended in terms of what they were designed for Blizzard, which is basically, I think, trying to combat the Broodlord Infestor army, right?
Oh, I think they are perfect for their role. I mean, they seem originally expensive and unwieldy, but with their range, they don't do a lot of damage. It's hard to get a lot of them to do a whole bunch of one-shotting, but there's always that issue with, I have a big line of Broodlords, you have a big line of Colossus, and nobody's attacking each other.
Yeah, yeah.
The Tempest forces the engagement. It's like the instigator. It's the perfect unit for Protoss in the late game.
Cool. All right, cool. Right, well, let's jump on into game number 2, guys, as we do have spawning over to the eastern location here as our blue Protoss. He goes by the name of WhiteRa.
And down in the bottom position from Team MTW, surprising a lot of us with his interesting Swarm host play, it is Dimaga.
Yeah, I really do like the Swarm host play. I'm interested to see a little bit more of it here if Dimaga wants to go for it. It seems to me that going through a mid-game in HOTS, it seems that Swarm hosts are going to take on a really big role because of the way in which they can, to a certain degree, kind of limit and contain. And Zergs, for the most part, we've never really seen Zergs have that much space control units. But, I mean, give it to them. Give it to someone like Dimaga, and I'm sure that he'll be able to exploit it to its fullest eventually.
Oh, yeah. I mean, already, the simplest way to state the change in PvZ is that Zergs are getting slowed down because there's so many different ways to be aggressive.
Yeah, yeah.
So Protosses can expand more. So what does this mean? Well, you can't just leave the Zerg helpless with his Infestors in the mid-game because... Sure, the deadly 40 Infestor army is tough to deal with. Leenox shows that one off all the time, but it's just a little bit too difficult to get to that with all the pressure that you can put on with recalls and the fact that the Tempest can sort of peel open some aggression.
Yeah.
So, in the Zerg's shoes, having this really solid stepping stone unit that's also an aggressive unit. You can control space, but you can also attack with the Swarm host for 0 cost. You can just have them burrowed and rallied up. And I just think it's an excellent, excellent little unit.
And let's just deviate from that just a second. This is the 2-player map, right? That's in the map pool. So people,
it's the 4-player map in the map pool.
Okay. So I meant more like 2v2 map even, because you now have a base in your main, right?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So people are able to secure the Protoss at least is able to secure that Nexus first. I would say technically easier, given that they have a ramp here right next to their natural. That's an okay position.
It's super straightforward to take that back base, but the third base ends up being a little bit tricky. There's this bottom right base that WhiteRa can go for, and oh my god, it's not a wall at the bottom side. Zerglings walked right in. Oh my god, if this show match ends due to mistakes like that will be painful. But of course, on a new map, you always have to make sure that you have your wall off tight.
Oh god, I really hope it doesn't end now. I mean, Zerglings any stage in wall or HOTS in your base at this early on is really, really annoying to deal with. He's going to have such an annoying time dealing with these. He doesn't even have his cybernetics core started right now, so he's not going to have the Stalker out that he needs to fully shut this down. These Zerglings going to keep dancing, man. Going to keep dancing.
And I mean, the worst part of all is that it wasn't even like a 10 pool or a 9 pool.
Yeah.
It's hurting Dimaga. Dimaga just did a 14 pool. He's already taking his expansion up. Everything's going as desired. Another Zealot en route for WhiteRa. But still, this is a solid map to either go for kind of a big army 3-base style, because after you get your 3rd base, the 4th is not quite as difficult. But you can also do some really aggressive 2-base tactics. It's close positions. You can easily just waltz right on over to the enemy base. And of course, it's super easy to defend your 2 bases as WhiteRa.
Yeah, so for now he has the 6 more drones on the way. He's just droning up profusely across these 3 bases. 34 drones right now to the 23 probes on the units counting station. And getting that mothership core out now, which is always quite useful. But still, those Zerglings being so annoying. He actually, has only now just got a Stalker out. So those Zerglings, I mean, they've delayed quite a bit here and killed off 4 workers in total. That's a nice pickup there for Dimaga.
Yeah, it's also a free pickup there for Dimaga. I mean, Dimaga is just in... He is leaps and bounds ahead at this point. Back down in his base, we're seeing he does have the 2 gas geysers up at the very normal time, built him at 6 minutes. And the Wings of Liberty timing, or I guess I should say the standard timing of the layer in this matchup, is to just build it right away at 7 minutes. Just instantly layer. Occasionally you see players do what Dimaga's doing and get the Zergling speed first and then layer. But it's still just the layer. Really fast. There's no reason not to try to do that. And, oh, God, it looks like WhiteRa's going to try to go for another super early third, but a lot of Zerglings on the way.
Yeah, this could be a little bit scary here. He's going for that poke as well, but because of those Zerglings early on, it's slightly delayed here. The Queens and Zerglings coming in from every single angle, and we'll actually be able to push this back quite nicely as well. You don't want to lose that mothership core this early. That's kind of a big loss. So he does pull back.
Wow, layer down, extra gas geyser down, no Roach Warren, no Evolution Chambers, so it's a little bit unclear what we're going to be seeing out of Dimaga. There's the 2 Evo Chambers and 20 drones. WhiteRa really needs to wall his front in.
Oh, yes, he does. Oh, those Zerglings. Scary Zerglings. But, I mean, still, he could actually... If he wanted to sacrifice the units, he could actually continue nibbling, but he's going to go and check the 3rd location. And that's pretty bad, because right now there's only half of a Photon Cannon as well as a Zealot there, trying to wall in, trying to get the coverage on it so he doesn't get that many Zerglings DPSing it at one time. So that's really nice play there from WhiteRa.
Wow! Is he actually going to hold this off? That is a very impressive defense. Look at that, losing just a single Zealot. that was a stunning way to defend that expansion. Again, that's the little marginal utility you gain by having that extra mothership core, but unfortunately Dimaga is getting the 4th hatch. 1-1 is done, 22 more Zerglings on the way, and Dimaga's looking very nicely poised for the mid-game.
Yeah, the Infestation Pit with on the way now, so he's going to easily rocket up to those Infestors and those... Wait a minute, my camera angle's gone on a really funny angle, but I'll stick with this for now. We have, with the Infestation Pit, you get the Swarm Host out, you get the Infestors out. So much space controlling ability with that, and even adding on Baneling Nest, so adding a lot of synergy here. So Dimaga just going up to a very similar composition to what we saw last game, but adding on the Baneling Nest could be adding on some very cool dynamics.
I really like the Baneling Nest in this situation. I mean, so often you don't see that unit in general. But, looks like a pause from Dimaga, so it looks like he is...
Invite for me now.
You know, this is a huge glitch that a lot of people are encountering where... If you're in-game, someone can invite you to their clan, and it covers up the entire screen, and you cannot play.
I didn't want to say anything, but I've been casting the game the whole time with that on my screen. I'm not even joking.
Wow.
So
I'm free.
I didn't want to say anything. But yeah. So I'll just keep doing that. I mean, I can see the production tab. I can see Zerglings running around and stuff. So it's good.
Well, looks like now everything has been resumed.
Woohoo!
A couple of kings still need to be cleaned out, it appears. But yeah, I mean, Protosses are trying to cut a lot of corners. And if you're ahead in a position like this, especially if you feel like you're ahead in gas, Banelings are sort of paradoxically a good unit to use against the Sentry. Because you think about something like the Roach, you go up to Sentries, the Sentries cut them in half. So that way you have half the Roaches in front, and those all die, and half the Roaches are on the backside, and those stay alive. For example, like this, cutting the Zerglings in half. But with Banelings, you have to throw down the force fields so the Banelings are on the other side. And then they can just back away. So it's not like you get as many kills as if you can slice in half a Roach army or slice in half a Zergling army. So right now, Dimaga is about to do a huge Baneling push. Oh my god, look at the number of units. And 1-1 is going to finish right now.
Oh, this could be a lot of damage unless he catches them all in force fields. He catches a few of them behind it, but actually they just flood in constantly anyway. So many
Oh
Zerglings
my
to get to
gosh.
this area.
This is the struggle with the Banelings. Now the Zerglings know exactly where to go. Dimaga saying LOL. He literally cannot play because he is getting invited constantly. As is WhiteRa, so...
Well, I mean, technically speaking, this game might end very soon regardless. That's a lot of Banelings and a lot of Zerglings putting on so much pressure here as they start again, and now they're going to try and fight against the terrible, terrible invite system and kill off everything in his opponent's wall. Great.
So now we see Dimaga just storming right into the front. There's not going to be very much that WhiteRa can do. Even without any distraction, there would be just a significant amount of problems to deal with. Zerglings killing off absolutely everything. Still trying to rebuild photon cannons at the third base, but it appears that in a very, I would say, interesting fashion, without any wings or out any Heart of the Swarm units, Dimaga has managed to make a nice play to get himself the huge lead here in Game 2.
Yeah, seems so. He just decides to go full gun-ho with Zergling Baneling, and it works really nicely. He's even following this up with Mutalisks as well. That's one of the things that people undervalue, I think, about Heart of the Swarm. The way in which new strategies and new units combat current metagame trends. And this is something that Heart of the Swarm has to have in order to, you know, give it a little bit extra flair in terms of that balancing process. And I think this is really important.
WhiteRa's lost his main, he's lost his natural expansion. Dimaga just continues to flood in, and the Mutalisks are easily going to be able to swarm in from that backside and take everything out. Or hell, they might just go straight for the Cybernetics core, go straight for the Colossus, and there's the GG.